Waste any time putting on a show for Browns fans yesterday at the first day of camp. He had some highlight catches and showed exactly why there are high expectations in Cleveland. Odell is no longer in New York, but he seems to already be acclimated to his new home. Take a listen.
I am very just excited to be here. Feel settled in my heart, in my mind, my body, soul. I'm just settled into where I'm at and feel like I belong. It's nice to just be out here and be able to, do what you love. I've been playing this game since I was 4 or 5 years old. So just to be able to be back into football and shift all of your focus on football, cut everything else out, I'm just excited about being back.
Well, Shannon, will this work in Cleveland?
I'm optimistic. It seems he's saying all the right things, Skip, and for the first time, he talked about, you hear people say Cleveland, what's to do and where, all this and all that, and it seemed that he hadn't gotten over the fact that the Giants had traded him. But the Giants and Odell needed to separate. Skip, I remember in my sophomore year in college, I went to my head coach's office, and I was down, and he looked at me, he's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "My girlfriend and I, we broke up." He's like, "What happened?" I said, "Coach, we were both sick." And he looked at me, he's like, "You were both sick?" I said, "Yeah, I was sick of her and she was sick of me." The Giants and Odell were both sick. They were sick of him and he was sick of them. And this is what needed to happen. So he goes to a situation, Skip, where I believe he believes deep down that Baker is a better quarterback than Eli. Now, we're going to talk about Eli and his report to what Odell said. But Baker can make every throw. And once upon a time, Eli can make those throws. But I don't feel he can now. I believe Freddie Kitchens, the head coach, who's also the offense, will be calling the plays. I believe you go into a game when you have a guy like Odell, Skip. You tell Baker, don't force it to him, but you go into the game and on your sheet, you go, he's like, "You know what? I got to get Odell the ball." Odell's so good after the catch, Skip, you don't necessarily have to run him on a go route. You don't necessarily have to push the ball down the field to give it to him. You run him on the out. You run him on a hitch. You run him on a jailbreak screen. You just want him to get the ball in his hands. You just want him to feel important. Now, if I'm a defensive team, what I do is that I roll coverage to Odell because I want to get him frustrated. Because I know the longer he goes without touching the football, the greater my chances are for him to kick the net, him to have a meltdown. So that's what I'm going to do. But Freddie, I believe, will do an even better job than what the defense is trying to do of taking Odell away. Odell production on the field is unquestioned. Since he's entered the league, he's third in yards, third in touchdowns. The only issue is injuries, which we've seen surface over the last couple of years. He even started his career. Remember, he missed the first 4 games of his career because of that hamstring injury, and then came out with a bang because over those next, 12 games, he was Offensive Rookie of the Year. So we know what he can do. His production is unquestioned. The only issue is injury and what happens when he doesn't get the ball, Skip. Those are his 2 issues. Those are what he's going to have to overcome. A lot of people maybe gave him the benefit of the doubt. Well, maybe it was Coach Coughlin, maybe it was Ben McAdoo, it was Sherman, it was Eli. He no longer will receive that because guess what? He doesn't have Sherman. He doesn't have Eli. He doesn't have Coughlin. He doesn't have Ben McAdoo. He's in a new situation. He's in a new home. He says his mind, he says his heart, he says his whole soul is at ease. Now, we need to go see him play the way we know he can play. I've never had an issue with Odell Beckham's production. I've never had an issue. I've had issue with some of the things, how he behaves, and I still, to this day, have an issue with that. Hopefully, that's behind him, and he can be the Odell Beckham that we know he can be when that's a top 5 receiver.
Okay. So you say you are optimistic.
Yes.
And the harder I look at this and the more I think about it, I am now highly pessimistic about Odell working in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
What did you say after you read Mark Anthony Green's piece that we got the exclusive on last Monday in GQ? You said that he
is what we
was
thought he is.
Terminally selfish, right?
Yeah.
And yet you're saying you're optimistic for that. Cautious.
Can I be cautiously optimistic?
Yeah, you can. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm cautiously pessimistic because I root for Baker like crazy, and I want this to work for Baker because they do have the potential to be a surprise football team. They do have a loaded roster. And I do want Baker to be, he's now tied, we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, but he's tied in the MVP odds with Tom Brady, okay?
What'd I tell you?
Not bad.
Okay? Okay. What are you telling me? Wait, are you saying Brady's washed up?
Skip, I didn't say anything. Go ahead and make your
By
point.
the way, I forgot to ask you about your opening salvo. You have all these issues with women. I don't understand it. Every day there's another issue with another woman.
Skip.
You're always breaking up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't get it.
We were both sick.
I don't know.
Sick.
Okay.
Yeah, it happened.
It happens. Glad
I'm
you
not
moved
like
on.
you. You fall in love with
Hey.
the first woman and, and level up.
I have nothing to boast about in that category. Back to Odell. When I finished Mark Anthony Green's piece, I said, this young man has gone over the edge into egomania, into me-ism. He hasn't matured. He has actually lost more perspective than ever on the game he plays and what really should matter to him. Because what mattered to you was to win that trophy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you had 3 cracks at it, and you won 3 of them. And it wasn't all because of you, but you certainly contributed, and you were a leader, if not the leader, of 3 Super Bowl teams. Leadership is the farthest thing from Odell Beckham Jr.'s mind right now because he is the new T.O. in the National Football League. Very different receiver than T.O., much better hands than T.O. had. But T.O. was extremely productive, but Terrell never quite could get it through his head that it's not about you starring, it's about the team winning.
Correct.
It's not about stats, it's about dubs, right? In the end, you were about dubs, and Odell is still about stats. And I got to refer one more time to the most shocking quote in Mark Anthony's piece was, he said, so you want to play for what, 10 more years? He said, well, maybe 10 or until I pass Jerry. Past Jerry, he's got 23,000 yards. Your biggest year was 1,450. So if you career year it for 12 straight years, that's what you're going to have to actually be a little better than career for 12 straight to catch and pass Jerry Rice. But that's warped viewpoint of what you've lost all perspective on who you are and what it all should mean. And when I read the opening detail that he actually has a chrome figurine of the catch on as the hood ornament of his new Rolls, which just happened to be sort of tangerine orange, Browns colors. Then I said, he's lost it, man. And now that he has been shipped from the Big Apple to a city that has been called, at various points, the mistake by the lake. And again, the quotes yesterday were all peace and love. It's all great. That was the first camp practice, and we are 44 days away from opening Sunday when they face the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, you said a lot of things can happen between
A lot of things can happen. And what I predict is the recipe for disaster is his relationship with his soulmate from LSU, Jarvis Landry. As close as they are, they play the same dependent position. And you say, yeah, but they'll figure it out because they love each other. Well, you and your girlfriend, you're both sick, right? Okay. Well, you thought you loved each other. I think you thought you loved each other for a while, right?
It was puppy love.
Puppy love. Okay, I got it.
19,
Okay. Well, but you think at that time you love each other. This could be puppy love between Jarvis and Odell because they don't really know what's going on. So let's look at Jarvis's last 2 years. 2 years ago in Miami, he led the National Football League in catches, 112. And then last year, he led the Browns by far in catches with 81, a lot less than 112. But his yards per catch went up last year from 9 in Miami to 12 in Cleveland. So his yards were almost the same the 2 years. He is used to getting the rock, right? Throw him the candy, Baker Mayfield, because that's what he does for a living. Well, now you've got the ultimate stat machine over on the other side, and what do you always tell me? If he doesn't get X for a buck, X, right? He's just not happy. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter unless he gets his numbers. Baker doesn't have enough footballs to keep those two happy and then win games by throwing some to Njoku and a few others to Antonio Callaway, right? Because you have to spread the ball in this league.
And Nick Chubb's going to get 250 carries. And then when Kareem Hunt comes back, he's going to get a few catches and a few carries. That's people ask, well, would you have liked to play with your brother? No! He's the number one receiver, Skip. They're going to throw him he caught his last 3 years, he averaged catching 107 balls a year.
And he's your brother.
Yeah, they're going to throw him 160 balls. They can't throw him 160 and throw me 100 and then throw, everybody else 75, 80. No. Let him be over there.
The
thing is, Skip, is that Odell, Maybe he does. But Odell says, you know what? AB, Julio, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, we're in that niche. So if Odell plays the late game, these guys are playing when Odell is driving to the stadium.
Yep.
Okay, when the game's over, he looks up there. Julio got 300. AB had $189. AJ Green had 165. Oh,
Jarvis has already caught 8 balls today? What's going on? Huh?
He'll know.
You lose it, Skip.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
It's trust me, because I was a guy and I knew what Tony was doing. I knew what Ben Coates was doing, all these guys. And I'm like, man. And I'm just like, woo. And here it is, the second quarter. We start the second quarter. I ain't got a pass. They throw one my way. Yay.
Okay. So Odell says after yesterday's first camp practice in Cleveland, Ohio, I feel settled in my heart, in my mind, in my body. I'm settled into where I'm at, and I feel like I belong after one camp practice in Cleveland, the city that he called out there when he was talking about it from Manhattan. That out there. What happens? Y'all have any good restaurants out there?
Skip, it's good. I see you're not from the South, but you know you get sweet tea or lemonade. When that sugar settle in the bottom, man, that thing busting then. So Odell said he's settled. So that means he's going to have a good one.
Really? So then Odell was talking about the love he was feeling from the Cleveland fans at practice yesterday. And this really threw me. But he said, I've told you all before, I'm a real empath. And I went to Vanderbilt, and I'd never heard that word before, but I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Right.
I'm a real empath. I know empathy, but I don't know empath as a noun. I'm an empath. So I looked it up, and it's a science fiction term for someone with paranormal ability to know the mental and emotional feelings and thoughts of another human, okay? So he's saying that he can feel it from the fans for real, like he can look inside your mind and feel your heart, and he's an empath. And I'm like, I don't know, this guy's way out there now.
So let me ask you a question, Skip. So after he made that catch, what do he think the Giants fans were? Could he feel the emotion? Could he feel the love that they were showing him? And they continued to show him.
Okay.
And there were some that still would go to bat for Odell and said, even after they got rid of Coughlin, they're like, it was Coughlin, okay, they got rid of him. It's McAdoo, they got rid of McAdoo. It's Sherman. So the only thing now, everybody that's upset that the Giants traded Odell is pinning and pointing all their frustrations at Eli. Because Eli is the last one that's still Skip of all the guys that they've gotten rid of.
Okay, so my bottom line is there's going to be some November, December Sunday in Cleveland, Ohio, and Odell's going to look around, it's going to be cold and dark, and he's going to say, where am I? What am I doing here? That's what's going to happen.
Odell don't make me out of line. I'm cautiously optimistic. Odell going to do it. I'm riding with the Browns. Odell gonna do it now.
Feels like puppy love all around that team. Baker just got married. We've got Freddie talking about the Super Bowl. We've got Odell saying he's never been better, and it's day one. So I think we're in for a treat over the next
I think Odell's gonna surprise you.
We say we've got more positive vibes coming from a different camp, and we can all relax, guys.